We have to understand the metabolism that's backgrounding the challenge. Ketosis is an endpoint to a lot of other stuff that's gone beforehand. You'd imagine that, immediately after calving, milk's ramping up and that she would want to actually consume more and more food. But the reality is that as this fat is moving off her back and it's moving down to the liver and is being burnt in the liver as a fuel source, that triggers off a mechanism back to the brain and it suppresses her dry matter intake. She's not eating till she's full, she's eating to a satiety point. And that satiety point is far less than what she could physically take in. Low blood glucose primarily and initially most powerfully affects brain function. So the classic doughy ketotic cow responds to glucogenic precursors very positively. If we can get her blood glucose back up, what will happen is that the hormone insulin will respond to that blood glucose and we start spinning into a good position rather than spinning into a bad position. The rumen is often seen as at the forefront of all of this, but you can't ignore the liver. It is actually the thing that is turning out the fuels in the form that the cow wants. It's the real engine here. Diamond V in its own right has a registered claim in the United States as a promoter of dry matter intake in fresh cows. It gets animals to eat more. It's good for health in terms of E. coli and salmonella counts. There's a whole bunch of stuff. Two glucose precursors in propylene glycol and glycerol. They operate in a slightly different fashion, but are both powerful sort of tools in that regard. We use a couple of methyl group donors in betaine and choline. That's really good at promoting liver function, helping the fat flow through the liver, making sure the liver doesn't get too clogged up. We use chromium, which slows the body condition score loss, as does niacin. Range of B group vitamins coming from Diamond V and some other areas. Vitamin B12 is important because it helps us get propionate from the rumen through to glucose in the liver, really important. Negative energy balance is a fairly natural thing for a cow to have immediately post-calving. She's programmed to do that, she's evolved to do that. What we'd like her to do is give it to us steadily over a longer period of time and promote her increase through to peak milk in a more controlled manner. If we look at what's been there for the last 20 years, like most things that have been there for 20 years, whether it's a car or a truck or whatever, we could do better with our modern technology.